Former AEW producer and agent Sarah Stock has been heavily critical of the controversial Jon Moxley and Darby Allin spot at AEW WrestleDream on Saturday. She says that mothers should stop things by turning off AEW programming. This has led to a lot of reaction on social media, including a rather intense back and forth with former co-worker and current AEW employee Amanda Huber. All this and more in this news update. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the controversy and reaction of this Jon Moxley and Darby Allin spot at WrestleDream. Now, if you're not familiar, Jon Moxley and Darby Allin went to the extreme in their I Quit match at AEW WrestleDream, with Moxley trying to drown Darby during the bout. Multiple times throughout the match, Jon Moxley dunked Darby's head into a fish tank filled with water, holding him under for a number of seconds in hopes of making Darby quit. Darby, of course, did not. He went on to win the match. This has led to a lot of reaction online, including from a former AEW producer and coach in Sarah Stock. Here's what she had to say. Now, in response to All Elite Wrestling's caption on the gif of Darby Allin being drowned by Moxley, where they said, "Somebody stop this," Sarah Stock said, quote, "You know who should stop this? Mothers, with their remote control. This is worse than the plastic bag over the head. Kids are going to end up dead trying this stuff at home at AEW." Now, this led to a reaction from Amanda Huber. Of course, she's a current AEW employee. In addition to that, she was a former co-worker of Sarah Stock when she was in AEW. She said, quote, "This was midnight on a pay-per-view. Meanwhile, when you were working, you choked another woman out with a bout. Where was the outrage over kids trying that? And you want to quote tweet a video of me talking about kids' grief to defend you being a hypocrite? Fuck all the way off." Now, Sarah Stock responded to this by saying, "You're exposing your ignorance." The response from Amanda Huber to Sarah Stock after that was, "What ignorance exactly? Please educate me on your expertise when it comes to children or parenting." Stock said, quote, "Ignorance to how the industry works. No need to get hysterical. Not surprised though. The first day I met you, you spent the entire ride in a tizzy tearing down Sting's daughter and Tony Khan for allowing her to take your spot in AEW Outreach." Hubert then replied by saying, "I'm ignorant to how the industry I've been in and around since 2002 works. Calling me hysterical is a choice when I'm pointing out your hypocrisy. Keep telling lies online. Maybe one of the dirt sheets will cut you a check." Now, in response to this, her comments from Sarah Stock, a lot of people, as I mentioned, were replying and responding to her. One account said, quote, "All this outrage for Mox and Darby's match makes me wonder how it is possible that Japan is such a nice and safe place to live after all the crazy death matches in the 80s and 90s. Anyways, please don't look at Sarah Stock for parenting tips. She's no good for the kids." And they posted a article from 2020 highlighting when Sarah Stock was arrested in Evansville, Indiana. According to court records at the time, she was charged with aggravated battery, resisting law enforcement, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication by alcohol. Now, she responded to this, Sarah Stock, by saying, "Outrage, this is literally me right now," posting a picture of her, I guess, covered up strategically by certain parts of plants. Amanda Huber then responded by posting a lengthy post along with a GIF from The Simpsons where it says, "Won't somebody please think of the children?" But she said, quote, "Want to know what my kids, because I have kids, were doing at midnight last night? Sleeping. Want to know why? Because they're kids. My wrestling-loving kids. Want to know what they weren't watching? A match between two performers who are known for taking things to an extreme. Want to know why? Because it's my responsibility as a parent to know what they're consuming. It's cool though. I'll let them watch some old TNA stuff and they can learn to choke each other out with a bout, since that's cool because checks notes, tits look great." Again, replying to the picture that Stock posted of herself on social media. Now, what she's referring to when it comes to this TNA throwback is because Sarah Stock, in this video, you can see here, when she was Sarita in TNA Wrestling, there is a video of her choking out Taylor Wilde. It's not actually with a bout, it's with a leather handbag, the strap of a handbag. So the point was that she's done some things that maybe weren't right for children to consume in the past as well. So what are your thoughts on the reaction to this and the reaction to the spot in question? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below. Now, we're going to be getting an update on WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins tonight on Monday Night Raw. Following his victory over Cody Rhodes at WWE Crown Jewel, fans in Perth, Australia spotted Seth Rollins wearing a sling on his left arm, with reports later suggesting that WWE World Heavyweight Champion hurt his shoulder while performing a coast-to-coast headbutt during his match. Unlike his previously faked knee injury, Rollins' shoulder injury is said to be legitimate and in possible need of surgery that would keep him out of action for an extended period of time. Per WWE.com, the WWE Universe will have a clearer picture of Rollins' prognosis on Raw, as the Red Brand's general manager Adam Pearce is set to provide an update on Rollins' status during tonight's broadcast from Sacramento, California. In storyline, Rollins boasted about his win over Rhodes on last week's edition of Raw, while adding that he didn't need anyone, including the Vision, to reach success in WWE. Later in the show, CM Punk defeated Jey Uso and LA Knight to cement himself as the #1 contender to Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship. His celebration wouldn't last long, however, as he absorbed a post-match spear from Bron Breakker and Tsunami from Bronson Reed. Then, in a shocking turn of events, Breakker and Reed delivered the same moves to Rollins, who had served as the Division's leader for several months. As of now, it's unclear if Rollins' reported injury will result in him vacating the World Heavyweight Championship, which he claimed by cashing in his Money in the Bank contract on Punk at WWE SummerSlam. According to recent reports, he may be sidelined through WrestleMania 42, where current plans call for him to face the OTC Roman Reigns. We'll have to wait and see indeed what Adam Pearce says this evening. Now, big update here on AI in WWE. Now, this was a massive story towards the end of last week, which got a lot of attention of people. Now, Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp has learned that there have actually been AI tools at the disposal of WWE's creative team for years. However, this is when it comes on a report from Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that suggested that Paul Triple H Levesque had hired someone and their job was going to be to implement AI in the creative team, and the creative team's storylines were going to be generated by AI. And there was a story of Bobby Lashley, who's currently in AEW, being pitched for a new gimmick where he's fascinated with the country of Japan. It was a very, very, very odd story, to say the least. Now, Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp has provided a bit more context on this whole thing, that he said that actually there's been AI tools at the disposal of the creative team for years. However, it's mostly been used as a glorified creative assistant to look up things like last time two wrestlers had a match. One source familiar with the process said that would be more of a not starting with a blank page approach rather than write the show for us kind of thing. Now, I'm asking around the creative team. According to Sapp, nobody said they knew of anyone on the team who actually used an AI system provided for more than a couple of minutes. Regarding the new hire, the WWE creative team is of the impression that he's being brought in to find ways to help using AI to remove background noise of shots or organize files quickly or work on production elements as opposed to creative storylines. One employee in the production told Fightful that they work an insane non-stop hours and they're actually excited to get AI aiding them in some of the things that they do. Specifically, though, Fightful were told that AI is not replacing the creative team, the team that writes the shows then produces it with talent directly. A top talent reached out to Fightful and said, quote, Michael Hayes, Paul Heyman and Ed Koskey are not AI, and took exception to the belief that AI storylines were going to be happening, suggesting that indeed is not going to be the case. Now, some sad news here regarding former WWE Tag Team Champion Sir Mo, real name Robert Horn, has sadly passed away at the age of 58 years old. News of Horn's passing emerged on his Facebook page after friends and colleagues began to pay tribute to the former WWE wrestler. Mo had been dealing with health issues since early 2022 when he was hospitalized in mid-July, undergoing major surgery, which resulted in 12 inches of his small intestine and 2 inches of his large intestine being removed. Mo was discharged from hospital shortly after the surgery, but he was hospitalized again in early August, and he remained in and out of intensive care until his passing. Of course, we send our deepest condolences to Sir Mo's family and friends. And finally, an update here on Jacob Fatu. Of course, was written off television Friday night on SmackDown. Having been written off TV on Friday night, following reports he was due to be out of action well into 2026, there's now further word on Jacob Fatu's WWE status. For those who may have missed it, last week saw Bodyslam.net report that Fatu was dealing with an unspecified medical issue that would keep him on the sidelines for, as mentioned, well into 2026. The most recent episode of SmackDown, where the Samoan Werewolf was scheduled to face Drew McIntyre, with the winner getting a shot at Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship, saw Jacob attacked backstage off-screen by an unknown assailant, setting the stage for Fatu's absence from TV. However, Fightful Select has an update on this situation, noting that Jacob Fatu is dealing with a dental injury right now, which is the reason for him being written off WWE programming. In what sounds slightly more positive than the initial story, the outlet says Fatu has told people backstage he wouldn't be back for at least a month. Now, at least a month could be anywhere from 1 month to 6 months to 6 years, but it does sound a little more positive than well into 2026 at least. So, of course, if we get any more details on Fatu or his status, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.